Hello guys, this is your friend and we are back with a new fanfic. Which is what if Naruto was claimed by Ino, the time-looping queen who became addicted to him across infinite lives. Part 1. And if you enjoy this fanfic then please press the like button and subscribe to my channel for more fanfic like this. And now let's start the fanfic. My name is Yamanaka Ino. I'm 12 years old and I live in the village hidden in the leaves where I attend their ninja academy. The graduation exam is tomorrow. All I have to do is pass it and I will become a low-level ninja of the village. It'll be easy to pass since I've done it several times. Wait, how did I pass it several times already, you ask? That's easy, it's because I'm a time traveler. You're confused, aren't you? I was too at first. It all started way back in my first life, which was several loops ago, and be patient, I'll explain what I mean by loops too. Let's see, I was 16 years old and Konoha, that's the short name for the village, was just destroyed by the leader of Akatsuki, a group of S-class criminal out to conquer the world or something like that. At least we thought he was the leader at the time. Anyway, the village was being rebuilt, but then the Fourth Great Ninja War broke out. I shouldn't have to tell you how much that. As for the war itself, we were doing fine until the big bad guy, some old guy named Uchiha Madara, let loose the tailed beasts he had under his control. In case you don't know what a tailed beast is, it's a giant demon made of chakra and they are very strong. There's 9 of them, each with a different number of tails and based on different animals. The more tails they have, the stronger they are. My husband Naruto has the 9-tailed fox demon, the strongest of the tailed beasts sealed within him. Did I just call Naruto my husband? Oops, well, he was my husband, or he could be. Damn, these loops are confusing. Right, the time loops, I'm getting to that. I'll explain about Naruto later too. You see, after Madara's tailed beasts attacked, they killed everyone who fought against them, including me. I was a medic on the field, so I was one of the first to go. Something about killing the white mage, priest, cleric, healer first, I don't really get where that came from. I guess it makes sense to kill the doctors first to keep them from healing anyone, as bad as that sounds. So, how am I still alive, you ask? Hell if I know. I saw a menacing ball being fired toward me and I did what anyone would do in that situation. I screamed. The next thing I knew, my daddy was holding me, telling me it was all right and I just had a bad dream. I looked up and I saw him holding me, which was surprising because he had passed away early on in the war. Naturally, I was freaked out. Eventually I calmed down and was able to convince myself it was all a bad dream. I kept what happened to myself, even thought it was a very realistic dream. So I went on my life. It was good, until I died again. At least I was pretty sure I died. I awoke in my bedroom again, and it was the day before the final exam at the academy. That's when I realized it wasn't a dream. I really did die both times, and both times I restarted my life from the same point in time. Time itself had reset, sending me back to relive my life. That's how I got stuck in a time loop. Adjusting to being a pseudo-time traveler was hard at first. For one thing, I knew about all the bad things that were going to happen in the future and could do nothing to stop it. Oh sure, I tried telling people about it. I told my daddy since I thought I could trust him. I thought he would believe me since I'm his little girl and would never lie to him. I should have known better. I don't really remember what happened next since I spent an entire loop erasing my memories of what happened next, or as much as I could. You see, after I revealed my secret, I ended up getting interrogated about everything I knew. Now, being a Yamanaka, I've had experience with this, so for the most part one cooperated. I figured I'd give them all the info I had and they'd use it to help save the village. I was wrong, dead wrong. At first they thought I had gone crazy, so they were trying to determine how sane I was. When I started revealing things I shouldn't know, they thought I was a spy. As I revealed more, I thought they were beginning to believe me and would help me find out how I got in this mess. Again, I was wrong. They didn't care about me. They put the village's needs first. The information I had was invaluable and they needed every bit of it. They would stop at nothing to get everything they needed to know. After all, wouldn't it be worth it to sacrifice one child if it meant saving the rest of the village? Knowing how Naruto was treated should have tipped me off that something like this would happen. I won't go into details over what they did to me because I don't even remember what they did. I was such a wreck after they were done. I was too unstable to be a ninja. I spent the rest of the loop working in my parents' flower shop. If I wasn't working, I was spending my time in therapy to get over my trauma. They helped me overcome it, and I learned a lot more about botany working in the shop so much. I had almost recovered by the time Madara became the new host of the 10-tailed beast and destroyed Konoha. I spent the next loop working on continuing my recovery in private while mastering my clan's techniques. I wasn't going to repeat my mistake of revealing what I knew of the future. Shikamaru and Choji noticed my change in behavior and were suspicious at first. I was still affected a bit by the torture I went through and was a bit more subdued at times. I was also more skilled than before, having knowledge of things like medicine that I didn't before, and more of what I already did. Luckily they are my friends and teammates, so they trusted me. After some time they got used to my changes and didn't pry into what happened to me. Things continued like that. I would learn everything I could while trying to do my best to save anyone I could. I studied my clan's techniques with help from my dad and medicine from Lady Tsunade with Sakura. It's always funny since I'm so much better than her having knowledge of medicine from prior loops. It got to the point where I could just go to the hospital at the start of a loop after becoming a genin and become a certified medic. I'd have to take several tests before I was approved though. They had to make sure I really knew what I was doing since it appeared I had no prior training. After my ordeal with revealing my secret, I wasn't too keen on studying torture and interrogation techniques. It's too bad my clan's techniques are based around that and I would have to use them as a ninja. So I forced myself to learn more about them so I wouldn't suffer like I did before, and also to minimize the effect they had on the ones they were used on. I guess you could compare it to someone with seasickness learning to drive a boat. Sometimes the best way to face your fears is head-on. Anyway, I learned about torture and interrogation from Morino Ibiki and Mitarashi Anko. Anko even became a role model of sorts to me. She taught me a lot, including seduction techniques. They never seemed to work on Sasuke, but Naruto was very appreciative of them. Right, Naruto, I'm getting to him, I promise. So at this point I'm a skilled medic, a botanist, seductress, very knowledgeable of Yamanaka clan techniques, torture and interrogation, and I even know how to use a tanto if I had to. I finally thought I was ready to make some big changes and started planning them out. The first thing I would do is help save the third Hokage from Orochimaru and hopefully get the snake handler killed so Sasuke won't leave Konoha. It was surprisingly easy to do so. You see, Orochimaru would always have the Sound 4 put up a barrier so he could fight the third by himself. There would always be 3 Anbu just watching the fight from the outside. One time I asked Asuma Sensei why they weren't helping and he just reminded me the barrier was in the way. At that point I took a good look at the barrier. It had 4 sides and a top, but didn't appear to have a bottom. When I asked Asuma Sensei if the barrier would stop attacks from below, he just paused for a moment with a dumbfounded look on his face, then ran off to join the Anbu watching the fight. The next thing I saw was the 4 of them each heading to a corner and making a hole in the roof of the building the fight was on. Suddenly they took down the Sound 4 from below, having entered through the building. With them gone, the barrier was down and they joined the fight against Orochimaru, along with other reinforcements. They were able to distract him while the third used the dead demon consuming seal to rip out Orochimaru's soul and seal it within himself before he died. Apparently it was the only way to be certain he was dead. Kabuto was caught as well, and Rice Country was later annexed into Fire County, eliminating the hidden Sound Village. After that, Naruto left with Jiraiya to bring Tsunade back to the village so she could become Hokage. She ended up taking on Sakura as an apprentice. I was already a registered medic, so I didn't need to train with her. I should have though. You see, Since Orochimaru was dead, Sasuke had no reason to leave the village. Naruto was able to befriend him and Team 7 became one of Konoha's strongest teams. Sasuke ended up getting closer to his teammates, and since Sakura was the Hokage's apprentice, she became a lot more popular with the guys, which is something even Sasuke noticed. A few years later, after Akatsuki started capturing the hosts of the tailed beasts, Team 7 were the ones stopping them. They saved Gaara and killed Sasori and Deidara before the one-tailed raccoon was extracted from him, so he didn't die and Chio didn't have to sacrifice herself. I knew all about the mission where Asuma Sensei died and always stopped it. I had become stronger, so I was able to be with him and Shikamaru when Hidan and Kakuzu attacked us. I took control of Kakuzu before Hidan could kill Asuma Sensei and used him to kill Hidan first. Well, I couldn't kill him so much as help tear him into pieces that Asuma Sensei scattered to the wind. Shikamaru would then hold Kakuzu in place while I released him and Asuma Sensei cut his head off. He then used a fire attack to incinerate it in case he could reattach it with his threads. Later Itachi and Kisame started moving out to capture Naruto. Teams 7 and 8 were sent out to stop them. They ended up killing both of them. That's where things really changed. Since Sasuke had finally killed Itachi and avenged his clan, he started focusing on his other goal of reviving his clan. He asked Sakura to be the woman to help him since she was his teammate, the woman he knew best and Tsunade's apprentice. She of course accepted. They got engaged right away, but they wouldn't be married and start a family until the threat from Akatsuki was gone. Naturally I was devastated, as was a large number of girls in Konoha after finding out Sasuke was now taken. Naruto was also in rough shape after that. He was crazy for Sakura and would do anything for her. She was the same way for Sasuke though, and never thought of Naruto as anything other than a friend. Naruto and I ended up comforting each other over our heartbreaks and we ended up becoming a couple. I was still in love with Sasuke though, and I would still try in the next loop to get him to fall for me. Until then he and I wouldn't happen, and Naruto needed me. The battles against Akatsuki continued. I knew that Pain, the leader, would attack Konoha soon and there was nothing I could do to stop it. I didn't know when it was going to happen, so I figured out a way to have the village perform a practice evacuation drill. That got the civilians to safety before the attack. When it happened, the ninjas were then able to fight back without worrying about killing anyone in the crossfire. Since Sasuke was in the village and now possessed the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, having taken his brother's eyes, he was able to stall Pain until Naruto completed his sage training and returned to defeat Pain. That saved a lot of the village from destruction. There were a few deaths, but Pain always used some technique to bring them back to life. That only left Uchiha Madara and Zetsu as the remaining members of Akatsuki. Konan would give Naruto all the information she had on them and return to the Hidden Rain village to begin working against them. She didn't think she could beat Madara, but she knew Zetsu well enough to trap him and take him out. Then she would stall Madara's plans long enough for Naruto to gain control of the nine-tailed fox's chakra. Between that and Sasuke's eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, Madara didn't stand a chance. Well, that was the end of it. Konan, Naruto and Sasuke teamed up to beat Madara. Since Sasuke never attacked Killer Bee, the Raikage never called a Gokage summit, and the Fourth Ninja World War never started. The world was at peace again. There were a few matters left though. The tailed beasts that were sealed away by Akatsuki were resealed in new hosts from each major village to restore the balance of power. The seven-tailed horn beetle was given to Sand. The four-tailed monkey and five-tailed dolphin horse were returned to Stone. The three-tailed turtle and six-tailed slug were returned to Mist. Finally, the two-tailed monster cat was returned to Cloud. With Akatsuki disbanded and Nagato, the person controlling Pain, dead, Konan became the leader of Rain and began working towards creating the peaceful world her sensei Jiraiya envisioned. Naruto of course was all too willing to help. Everything was fine after that. Naruto and I became closer as he drifted away from his teammates. He began training constantly and taking more missions whenever he had the time, and wasn't with me of course. I guess since he lost his dream of being with Sakura, he dedicated himself to accomplishing his dream of being Hokage. There were some people who thought Sasuke would make a good Hokage, so Naruto trying his hardest to prove he was the best man for the job. I think it would crush him if Sasuke stole that dream from him too without even trying. Luckily Sasuke just wanted to revive his clan and reform the military police. The next major event happened almost 2 years after Akatsuki was defeated. We were all 18, and Sasuke and Sakura were getting married. They asked us to be the maid of honor and best man. Naruto flat out refused. He said he had a mission that would take him out of the village for some time and wouldn't be here for it. They then actually offered to postpone it until he came back, but he said he didn't know how long it would actually take. I could tell he didn't want to go because seeing Sakura with Sasuke still hurt and was still upset she picked Sasuke over him. I understood what he felt, but there was nothing we could do about it. We can't force the ones we love to love us back. I ended up volunteering to accompany him on his mission, whatever it was, so I could keep an eye on him. The truth was I really wouldn't feel right being at the wedding either. Kakashi and Shizune ended up being the best man and maid of honor. Apparently the two of them hooked up after that, so we went on this mission, which was just Naruto traveling through the elemental nations and getting in touch with the contacts in the spy network that was run by Jiraiya. He had passed away, but had introduced his contacts to Naruto on their training trip. Naruto was using this as an opportunity to meet them and stay out of Konoha during a time he wouldn't want to be there. It also gave us plenty of alone time in various hotels around the world. We ended up returning to Konoha several months later. Naruto joined Anbu and quickly became a captain. He was trying to establish himself as a capable leader and skilled shinobi. Needless to say, he did great. I took on a genin team and became a jonin sensei. Things went fine for the next 3 years. That's when the next big changes happened. For one thing, they revealed who Naruto's parents were. I was shocked. He was the son of the 4th Hokage. Nobody had any doubts that he wouldn't be a good Hokage after that. All the girls were jealous of me too. See, after Sasuke married Sakura and was officially off the market, all his fangirls finally started moving on. Well, most of them did. Well, anyway, they started focusing on the next hottest bachelor in Konoha, which turned out to be Naruto. That was before we found out his parents too. So now I'm fighting off bitches who keep making moves on my man. I guess they think he's not really taken unless there's a ring on his finger or something. I'm especially getting sick of that Hyuga coming by all the time. She's always trying to get his attention, and the way she does it is sickening. She likes to come by after a training session, only wearing a tank top and shorts. She then takes him by the arm and pushes it against her chest, trying to show off the real Hyuga bloodline. Damn that bitch. She had more up top at 12 than I do now. Well, if she thinks that will get his attention, she's wrong. Naruto spent most of his life pining after forehead, so he's obviously not interested in what's in her shirt. I think he's actually a leg man. He did once say he thought Sakura had a cute butt, and he seems to like mine too. I guess I shouldn't worry. Naruto is one of the most loyal guys I know. He probably doesn't even realize all these girls are hitting on him. Seriously though, why can't Hinata keep her younger sister in line? Hanabi should be out looking for guys her own age. Wait, what do I mean by Hanabi? She's been trying to get Naruto to fall for her ever since she found out her sister likes him. She's trying to prove that she's better than Hinata by getting the boy Hinata likes but couldn't get together with to fall for her. You didn't think I was calling Hinata a, did you? I would never do that. She's very nice, just quiet. She is always watching my man though, the little pervert. So anyway, once everyone found out about Naruto's real parents, they started to think I knew all along and schemed to get him for myself. They said I manipulated Sakura into getting together with Sasuke so Naruto would be heartbroken and I could sweep in when he's vulnerable and steal him for myself. I would never do that. I didn't even know about his parents until now. This was the first time I've gotten this far in a loop. Now that everyone knew about his parents and he had become a great and respected ninja, Naruto was finally ready to become Hokage. He had spent a few months after the reveal learning the ropes from Tsunade. Eventually the big day came and Naruto accomplished his life's ambition of becoming Hokage. There was a huge celebration in Konoha. Everyone expected Naruto to be the greatest Hokage and was looking forward to his reign. That night while watching the fireworks he proposed to me and I accepted. We were married a year later. We had 3 children, a boy and 2 girls. We were very happy together and Konoha flourished with Naruto as Hokage. In case you were wondering about Sasuke and Sakura, well, they split up. They loved each other, but Sasuke wanted a family and Sakura had worked hard to become a great medic and didn't want to give up her career. In the end they couldn't find a compromise, so after 3 years of marriage they were divorced. That was right around the time Naruto's parentage had come out. Things were a bit tense between us for a short time. The people we were first in love with were now available again. I didn't have to worry though, as Naruto was as loyal as he always was. He told me that he had moved on and let go of his feelings for Sakura, and only cared about me. I had fallen for him too, and I wasn't about to leave a loving relationship either. I don't think I was ready to be a mother yet, so being with Sasuke probably wouldn't have worked out for me either. Sasuke ended up marrying some girl he rescued on a mission a year later. It was actually quite romantic. Sakura stayed single for some time, and focused on running the hospital. She later told me she envied me for getting together with Naruto and wished she hadn't been so blind to his charms when she was young, or so infatuated with Sasuke. She didn't say it, but I think Sakura did love Naruto, but Sasuke always came first for her. I don't blame her. She ended up getting together with a widower whose wife she was treating. She couldn't save her despite her best efforts and took to helping him with their kids. Sakura never did have any children of her own, but was happy being a stepmom. As for me, I lived to the ripe old age of 82. Naruto was still alive, and looked like he was only middle-aged. It must have been that Uzumaki vitality. He stayed with me though, even as I grew older, and he stayed looking young. As I lay on my deathbed I wondered what would happen next. Would I wake up as a 12-year-old girl again, or would I really die? I had my answer soon enough. I closed my eyes and drifted off into sleep, and woke up, back in my parents' house and in my old room. I was 12 once more, and it was the day before the final exam at the academy. I had looped again. I felt like I could cry. I had prepared for this. Mentally at least, since that was all I could do. I prepared a state of mind to put myself in should I loop again. I knew I'd be starting over from scratch. I'd have to do everything over again. I'd see people who had died either in battle or of old age again. Would things turn out the same this time? Would it go better, or worse? The hard part was knowing I'd never see my family again. My children, my grandchildren and great-grandchildren. Did they even still exist somewhere, in an alternate timeline, or did time itself turn back completely erasing them from existence? I didn't want to think about it. In the end I considered it a possibility and prepared myself should it happen. That doesn't make it any easier. So now it's the start of another loop. I had finally made it to the end, or so I thought. I had something that most people don't, and that was another chance. I had been Mrs. Uzumaki Namikaze Ino, and while I'll always love Naruto, a part of me will always love Sasuke. Until I finally win Sasuke's heart, I don't think I could give mine completely to anyone. With that in mind I began my plan for this loop. I had prepared it near the end of my last life, just in case I looped again. This time I will win Uchiha Sasuke's heart and find out if he is really the man for me. It's a new loop now, and I bet you're wondering what my plan to win Sasuke's heart is. It's actually quite simple. Last time he fell for Sakura because she was his teammate, so all I have to do is make sure we end up on the same team. It'll be easy since I know how the teams are set up. The dead last is always paired up with the rookie of the year to balance out the teams. Some people also think the top kunoichi is also part, but that's not true. Sure, Tenten was the top kunoichi last year, but she was put on that team since she would do the best in an assault squad. There's other factors that play a part as well. Not many people would believe it, but I was the top kunoichi in my class, and the second best overall. Considering how weak I used to be, that's actually kind of sad. Anyway, politics play a part in forming the teams too. Since my daddy, Shikamaru's dad and Choji's dad were a great team in their day, they wanted us put together to try and repeat their success. That's where my plan comes in. You see, since I won't be put on Sasuke's team unless I'm dead last, which is something I will not do if I'm trying to impress him with my skills, I need Shikamaru to end up dead last. That way they'll put me and him with Sasuke, who'll be the firepower, quite literally too, in place of Choji's strength. How am I going to make Shikamaru the dead last, you ask? It's simple really. He's actually the second worst student overall. It's not because he's bad, he's just really lazy. It actually worked out for him because a lot of people tend to underestimate him. Naruto had the same problem, only he hated it when people thought he was weak. He ended up proving them all wrong though. Ah yes, Naruto. He's actually the dead last right now. Back in the last loop, when he was Hokage, I used to hear people make excuses for him like the teachers were sabotaging his progress out of spite, or they would try to keep him weak so he'd be easier to eliminate if they ever wanted to get rid of him. The sad truth is he really was a bad student. Sure, he trained hard and was in good shape, really good shape. His taijutsu was sloppy though, since he had no one to practice with and no one would point out what he was doing wrong. He hated studying too. He used to say it was boring and that real ninjas aren't bookworms. The truth is he didn't want to admit he wasn't any good at it. He always used to tell me he hated how he was such an idiot as a kid and wished he had done better. If he had studied harder he wouldn't be the dead last and his problems from being on Team 7 might not have happened. I once asked him what he learned while he was on his training trip with Jiraiya and he was embarrassed to admit they spent a lot of time just eliminating his weaknesses. They were always working on his taijutsu or chakra control. When he was too tired for that he was studying what he didn't learn in the academy. He told me he was ashamed that a great ninja like Jiraiya had to waste his time getting rid of his faults. It wasn't all bad, he improved a lot. They also had a lot of fun. Naruto said Jiraiya was like the father he never had. Since Jiraiya had to keep an eye on his spy network on their travels, he also taught Naruto everything about running it and how to contact his informants. They didn't have time to introduce Naruto to all of them. Oh, now I've gone off topic again. I'm supposed to tell you how I plan on making it so Naruto isn't the dead last. It's simple really. I'm going to use one of my best skills to help Naruto get a tutor. That will help him enough to pass, and do better than Shikamaru. Then we'll be assigned to Sasuke's team for sure. Alright, I've explained enough for now, it's time to get started. Look out world, here comes Yamanaka Ino. I'm about to head to the academy, and just on time my unassuming pawn, also known as Haruno Sakura, appears. She's the brightest student in class. If anyone can help Naruto pass a written test, it'll be her. Despite what you might think, getting her to help him will be easy. She just needs the right motivation. Hello forehead, I called out to my rival, best friend. Ino pig, she responded. Now it's time to set my trap. I feel really sorry for you. It's going being stuck with Naruto all the time once you become a genin and get assigned to a team. Sakura just shot me an incredulous look. I felt bad about what I said about Naruto. He's really nice to be around once you get used to him. For Sakura though, he is a bit of an annoyance, which is why she'll do anything to be rid of him. What are you talking about? She asked. Perfect, I've got her attention. You don't know, I asked her. She just narrowed her eyes at me. It's quite nice knowing something she doesn't. Although since I'm a time traveler I know a lot more than her now. The Rookie of the Year is always put on team with the dead last and top kunoichi. Since Sasuke is the best in outclass, he'll be Rookie of the Year for sure. Naruto is the worst, so he'll be dead last. I'm the best kunoichi, but since my daddy, Choji, and Shikamaru's dads were on team together, we'll be assigned together. Even if you manage to be the second best kunoichi and end up on Sasuke's team, you'll be stuck with Naruto too. Sakura followed my every word. She accepted the part about how the teams are formed since it makes sense. She looked split about her possible team though. I don't know if she's going to jump for joy at the thought of being with Sasuke or scream and tear her hair out at the idea of being on a team with Naruto. You know, since she's got that weird second personality, she might do both. Before I could say anything else, she took off running for the academy. I guess she went to look for an instructor to find out if I was right. Now, if things work according to plan, she'll get confirmation on my story and start looking for Naruto. If she doesn't want to be on a team with him, she'll drag him off and make sure he's prepared for the exam. I just hope she doesn't realize Shikamaru would be dead last then. She would then have to make sure they both do better than Kiba to make sure she ends up on Sasuke's team without Naruto. Too bad Naruto's busy painting the Hokage monument right now. Honestly, how is it no one caught him doing that until he was almost done? Everyone used to make fun of him for being a ninja who wore an orange jumpsuit, but he defaced a national monument in broad daylight while wearing it. That's enough of admiring his handiwork, it's time to get to class. This is a familiar sight. Naruto is bound by ropes and being lectured by Iruka-sensei in front of the class. I can't stand seeing him being treated like this. I should do something. Iruka-sensei, what exactly did Naruto do? I asked, despite knowing exactly what he did. Naruto skipped class to vandalize the Hokage monument, answered Iruka, probably attempting to shame Naruto so he won't try something like this again. The class laughed at this, obviously not aware of how serious it could be. So you mean to tell me that Naruto, the worst student at class, the boy who wears a bright orange suit, somehow vandalized the Hokage monument in broad daylight without getting caught until now? I asked incredulously. By the shocked looks of everyone present, I got my point across. They might think he's not skilled enough to pull off something like that, so it must have been someone else. The worst they could pin on him was playing hooky. There were witnesses though, but they only caught him when he was nearly done. They'll rethink what they know about him now. There's more I can do though. Another thing, if someone like Naruto could vandalize the Hokage monument, what's to stop someone like an experienced terrorist from placing explosive tags all over the monument? That got everyone's attention. I can see it now. Once word gets out, village security should be improved. That'll be good in the long run. Damn, I wish I had done this before. Things might have been easier. Oddly, Iruka-sensei didn't make us perform the transformation technique again. I guess he was still thinking about my earlier statement. He gave us the rest of the day to review before the graduation exam tomorrow. Naruto is actually really good at the transformation technique. I don't know why, but he's a natural at it. He's good at disguises too. Oh, that reminds me of the time we tried cosplaying as Sasuke and Sakura. We were hoping it would get us over our feelings for them. It was a little creepy at first, but once we got in the mood it was pretty sexy. Naruto looked real cute with pink hair and a nurse's uniform. So Sakura ended up dragging off Naruto, and surprisingly Hinata, to study in private. I guess she's going to have Hinata help with his chakra control. They should be able to figure out why he can't do the clone technique properly. Between that and Sakura helping him with the written material, he should pass no problem. Sakura might even try to pair him up with Hinata to get him off her back. At this point you're probably wondering why I didn't approach Naruto directly to help him. The simple answer is he doesn't trust me at this point and would be wary of my motives. He's completely infatuated with Sakura, so if she offers to help him he'll accept without a second thought. I also have an ulterior motive for this. The plan is for me to end up on Sasuke's team, but I don't know how it'll affect the others. I can see Team 8 being the same. If Choji, Sakura and Naruto end up together, they would make a good balanced nin-tai genjutsu team. What I'm really hoping for is that Sakura will end up with Naruto, even though she's trying to make sure she doesn't. I want her to find out what a great guy Naruto is and what she's been missing out on. If I'm going to give it my best to be with Sasuke this loop, I want them to be happy. Besides, once I get together with Sasuke, Sakura will be heartbroken and Naruto will be there for her. Finally, there's one more benefit to being on Sasuke's team. I'll have Hatake Kakashi as a sensei. Since he's always late, that gives me more time to train on my own with techniques I shouldn't know, or spend it with Sasuke. What I'm really hoping for is that Kakashi will teach me more about lightning manipulation and techniques. Okay, at this point I can see you're confused. Remember how I was married to Naruto last loop? Well, he's a ninjutsu specialist. He uses a lot of wind attacks, the Rasengan and Shadow Clone technique. He even taught me the latter too. He also tested my affinity and it turned out to be lightning. It turns out that Yamanakas are predominantly lightning types. It has something to do with lightning affinities deriving power from neural activity, and since Yamanaka techniques are all about that, it comes easy for us. Naruto got Kakashi to teach me the basics as a favor from a former sensei to the Hokage. I can manipulate it easy enough, but I don't know any major techniques. I don't think I can get Kakashi to teach me the Chidori or Reikiri even with multiple loops to try. I'm planning on getting him to test us for affinities early on. Once Sasuke sees we share primary types, that will give me a much better shot with him. Since I already know how to use lightning techniques, I can play myself off as a prodigy and hopefully get Kakashi to teach me something good. That should definitely impress Sasuke. That reminds me of another benefit to being in a time loop that I can exploit, and I'm surprised I didn't bring it up sooner. You know how chakra is made up of physical, spiritual and mental components. Well, every time the loop resets, I get the spiritual and mental parts added on to my past self along with gaining my memories of the past loop. I guess it signifies my soul or something merging with my past self. What this means is my chakra reserves increase dramatically at the start of each loop. The longer the loop, the more they increase. I don't have as much chakra as I did at the start of a loop as I did the end of the previous loop, since my body is much weaker. By the end though, I'll have more than I did in the last one. So, instead of being some weak academy student, I've got as much chakra as an experienced Jonin. The best part is I keep my control, so I don't have to worry about working on that. I'll be able to use high-powered techniques without worry. Even better is I can use shadow clones to help accelerate my training. I can't make as much as Naruto, but I don't need to make 1,000 anyway. Alright, I think that covers everything. To recap, should my plan work, I'll be on Team 7 with Sasuke and Shikamaru. Naruto and Sakura will hopefully end up on the same team as well. I'll learn lightning techniques from Kakashi and impress Sasuke with my skills, who'll fall for me for sure. Once we're a couple, Naruto will get together with Sakura. Everything else should work out fine. Class is over now. I guess I'll go to a training ground and practice for tomorrow's test. I need to make sure I stay the second best ranked student. I'm not sure what would happen if I was Rookie of the Year. Well, I passed the test with ease. Naruto passed as well. This does mean he won't learn the shadow clone technique like he did last time. Maybe his Jonin sensei will teach it to him instead. Mizuki won't end up telling Naruto about the fox either, so maybe the third will tell him about it. He'll take the news much better if it comes from someone he trusts. Speaking of Mizuki, I wonder what he's going to do now. Naruto was the only one who failed the Genin exam originally, so he might have to steal the Forbidden Scroll himself. With the newly improved security, that would be difficult. I should keep an eye on Naruto just in case. I know, I'll just have make a couple shadow clones and have one watch Naruto and the other watch Mizuki. Well, that was boring. I just got the memories of my clones back. Iruka-sensei took Naruto out for ramen to congratulate him on passing. With him around, Mizuki wasn't able to approach Naruto. After that, Naruto went home. I don't know exactly why Mizuki wanted the Forbidden Scroll since I never looked into it. I think he was planning on giving it to Orochimaru in exchange for power or something like that. It doesn't appear that anyone ordered him to do it. Since he can't get the scroll now, it appears he's going to wait and bide his time. I'll have to keep an eye on him. That'll be hard to do now that I'll be out of the academy and on a genin team. Maybe I could tip off the authorities with some evidence against Mizuki. Then they'll keep watch on him for me. I'll just have to find some first. It's the day of team assignments. I raced Sakura to class again, and beat her with ease. Decades of experience with using chakra to enhance your physical performance is useful like that. I ended up getting the seat next to Sasuke. I have to make sure Naruto doesn't accidentally kiss him again. Sasuke's first kiss will be mine. That does bring up an interesting point. Since I was married to Naruto in the last loop, am I still a virgin? I have memories of being with Naruto and giving him my first, well, everything, and I do mean everything. It's kind of sad, but in all of the years of my early loops I never really got into anything romantic. I was too busy trying to improve myself, not get killed and save the world. It wasn't until the last loop when I got together with Naruto that I finally got to enjoy being a woman and not just a ninja. I'll worry about this later. I have more important matters to attend to. Okay, so since I got the seat next to Sasuke, Sakura took a seat in the back row and is now trying to glare a hole in my head. Naruto was in the seat next to me, but he got up to sit with Sakura. Oddly, Shikamaru is now beside me. I wonder if he knows we'll be on a team with Sasuke. Okay, since Naruto is trying to get Sakura's attention, he's not going to end up kissing Sasuke, and I'm definitely not turned on by the thought of the two of them making out. Nope, not at all. Sakura's the yaoi fangirl, not me. I definitely do not have fantasies of Sasuke dressing like a pirate and having his way with Naruto. Ooh, Iruka-sensei's announcing the teams now. He's about to call out Team 7. Here it comes. Team 7 consists of Uchiha Sasuke, Yamanaka Ino and Nara Shikamaru. Yes, I shout, my plan worked. That, and I need to stay in character. Even though I really am Yamanaka Ino, just with more experience I can't have anyone being suspicious of me. No, came the yells from the other girls, except for Hinata of course. I don't think I've ever heard her yell before. It's weird, because I've heard she's a screamer, if you know what I mean. It's always the quiet ones. Team 8, continued Iruka, ignoring the cries of despair, will be Uzumaki Naruto, Haruno Sakura and Hyuga Hinata. That was unexpected. They usually don't have more than one kunoichi on a team. I looked back at them. Naruto was whooping for joy, Sakura was banging her enormous forehead on the desk, muttering, "Why me?" and Hinata, well, she fainted. Iruka-sensei. Sakura called out, "Why am I on a team with Naruto and Hinata and not Sasuke?" That reminds me of how Naruto would complain about why a great ninja like him was put on a team with Sasuke. Iruka-sensei told him it was because Sasuke was the best in the class and he was the worst. They were put together to balance each other out. That, as much as I now dislike it, put him in his place. Let's see if he does the same to Forehead. The teams are put together to balance each other out based on their skills and abilities. Shikamaru is the dead last, so he was placed with Sasuke to balance each other out. His abilities work best with Ino, who is the top kunoichi who is usually added in any way, so she became their third member. At this point I can see Sakura's face turn red with fury. I know I'm going to get it from her later. Well, you know what they say, all is fair in love and war. Besides, it was her fault for trusting me anyway, even though I was mostly right. As for why you were placed with Hinata and Naruto, I saw how well you three worked together to prepare for the exam. Naruto might not have passed without your help. Where you have great academic skills and non-existent physical abilities, he's the opposite. You two will balance each other out well. The look on Forehead's face now is priceless. She's in total shock. Not only is she not on a team with Sasuke, she's now stuck with Naruto and it's all her fault. She's going to blame me for it anyway. The two of you are also very outgoing, so hopefully you'll be able to bring Hinata out of her shell. Iruka said, finishing his explanation. Hinata didn't hear that as she was still out cold, most likely having perverted fantasies about her and Naruto. Maybe Sakura too, who knows what she's into. I should ask Kiba or Shino. Wait, damn, they're not a team together this loop, so they won't know. Oh well, I'll figure it out eventually. Finally, since Team 9 is still in rotation from last year, Team 10 will be Inuzuka Kiba, Aburame Shino and Akamichi Choji. Iruka called out, finishing his explanation. My guess is they'll be more of a hunter-type team rather than tracking. With Choji they'll have more combat support. I wonder how it'll work having two taijutsu types on their team. Kiba and Choji both work in close to mid-range support, so maybe they'll tag team a target. Since the teams have been announced, it's time for lunch. I asked Sasuke to join me, but he blew me off. I knew he would do that, so it didn't hurt much. I leave with Shikamaru. I'm going to avoid Sakura for now. Right now Shika and I are outside on an alcove overlooking the entrance to the academy. I can see where Sasuke is having lunch alone. There's also the bench where Naruto once transformed into Sasuke to steal a kiss from Sakura. As for the two of them, they're with Hinata, having lunch nearby us. Hinata woke up and left with Naruto to get to know each other, and Sakura accompanied them, presumably to keep Naruto from trying anything perverted with Hinata. That's totally ridiculous. Naruto hates perverts, which might explain why he never showed any interest in Hinata. Okay, I'm sure by now you're all asking why I keep calling Hinata a pervert. Well, let me ask you this. What would you call a girl who stalks your husband and watches him all the time? I think that explains why I feel that way about her. Sure, she's nice and wouldn't hurt a fly, but after a lifetime of being with Naruto, you can't blame me for being a bit overprotective of him, or a bit jealous when it comes to him too. I don't even want to think of what might happen if Hinata got someone like Mitarashi Anko for a role model instead of Kurenai. Lunch is over now, and it's time for the Jonin instructors to arrive. Well, everyone but mine at least. That's odd, I don't see Asuma Sensei here. There's 6 no-name Jonins and Kurenai Sensei. Wait, is that a black ball about to crash through the window? It was. It smashed through, leaving 4 kunai pinned to the wall, holding up a banner that read, "The sexy and single Mitarashi Anko, Jonin Sensei of Team 8. Team 8, come with me." Anko called out to her newest victims. Said victims were in shock, not unlike almost everyone else in the room. Shino, Shikamaru and Sasuke didn't react visibly. Kiba was drooling over her. The girls were complaining about her outfit and Naruto looked like he was having a panic attack. As much as I like Anko, she's either going to break them or make them into something great. I just hope she doesn't corrupt Hinata too bad. Naruto, Hinata and Sakura left with Anko. Kiba looked upset, until he found out Kurenai was to be his sensei. The other instructors took their students and left too. So that just leaves my team for the next 3 hours. I think I'll read a book, have a nap, invent a new technique, write a book, make a huge medical discovery, oust some traitors in the village, get my medical license, buy some new equipment and get my hair and nails done. After all, I've got nothing but time on my hands. So here I am, waiting for my new sensei to show up. Since I had 3 hours to kill, I made some shadow clones and send them off on errands. I had some incriminate a few spies I knew of. That should make things easier when the Chunin exam starts. Between that and the improved security, it'll go much smoother. I had another clone, in a disguise and using an alias, publish a book of medical discoveries that were made over the course of the last loop. That will set the medical field in Konoha ahead by decades. I won't be able to get my medical license until Kakashi-sensei officially passes us. Once he does though, I can get it with ease. I also purchased some new equipment as well for the bell test tomorrow. Just the basics, since that's all I can afford right now. You know, kunai, shuriken, ninja wire, a few explosive tags, soldier pills, ration bars and a first aid kit. I'll pick up a new tanto later. Hopefully before our first C-rank mission. Once I get Kakashi-sensei to teach us elemental manipulation, I'll get one I can charge with lightning. Unfortunately, I don't think he'll teach us that until the Chunin exams, or even until we get promoted. While my clones did all that, I was at the spa, enjoying one last relaxing day before the monotony of D ranks begins. I got my hair and nails done, and I look great. Not that Sasuke or Shikamaru would notice. It's not that Sasuke isn't into girls, he's just focused on avenging his clan now. As for Shikamaru, he's known me for so long he thinks of me as a sister. It would be too awkward for anything to ever happen between us. No, I just wanted to treat myself for succeeding in the first part of my plan. I might do it again later if things keep going well. You seem surprised that I actually did all that. You didn't think I was serious when I said I was going to it earlier, did you? Shame on you. Like I would really waste my time just sitting here waiting for Kakashi-sensei to show up. Speaking of which, it looks like Shikamaru is asleep and Sasuke is brooding silently, but in his own, cute way. It's funny, but when I see him now it's not as a girl his own age who thinks he's the most handsome man in the world. I feel more like a woman now, and Sasuke isn't doing much for me. Oh, he'll get hotter when he's older, but for now I'm not that physically attracted to him. I suppose that's good, otherwise I'd feel like a pedophile, and I'm nothing like Orochimaru. It's actually for the best. Like I said, he's not into girls right now, and I need to focus on my career and physical training anyway. It really having to retrain my body every loop. I can't imagine what would happen if someone like Lee were to be stuck in a loop. At least Kiba and Choji can use clan techniques and chakra. As for me, that's one of the reasons I branched out into other fields of specialty. Learning lightning techniques is just anyway way to compensate for my lack of physical ability. It's not that training isn't hard. It's just repetitive, and has slow results. Sure, I can train my body myself while my shadow clones do the rest. The problem is I'm not supposed to know the shadow clone technique, so I can only use it in private. Speaking of shadow clones, the one I had watching the academy gates just dispersed. Kakashi-sensei is on his way at last. He'll be here any minute. Should I say something to Sasuke and Shikamaru? No, I'll keep it to myself. At this point you might be wondering why I haven't approached Sasuke yet. In a way I already covered some of that. He's not into girls, and I'm attracted to the man he'll become, not the boy he is now. Besides, he only thinks of his fangirls as an annoyance. Not bothering him will put me way ahead of all those other girls. It's odd because, in a way if it was Naruto I was after, I'd want to spending time with him. He can be a lot of fun, and we have similar interests, like how we both like gardening. We had a large flower garden that ran along the outside of the house, and a greenhouse where we grew exotic plants for medicinal purposes. I wonder if I'm going to be doing this more often, comparing Sasuke and Naruto. Come to think of it, I'm not sure I have anything in common with Sasuke. I know he likes tomatoes and I like cherry tomatoes, but that's it. I guess that's something I'll have to find out this loop. At that point Kakashi-sensei finally showed up. He opened the door and greeted us, in his own way. My first impression is, you're boring. He said to us. Meet me on the roof in 5 minutes. Well, that was to be expected. Shikamaru was asleep and Sasuke and I were sitting quietly. Sasuke got up and left and I woke up Shikamaru and told him what happened. So, 5 minutes later, the three of us are on the roof of the academy, about to start the introductions. Why we couldn't just do this in the classroom is anyone's guess. Maybe Kakashi-sensei wanted to be on the roof so he can make a quick exit. Okay, let's begin with some introductions, said Kakashi-sensei. What do you want to know? I replied, playing the part of the inexperienced genin. How about your likes, dislikes, dreams for the future, hobbies, stuff like that? He answered. I know he's not going to tell us anything about him, but I might as well ask anyway. Besides, I know things about him even he probably doesn't know, or won't admit to. Why don't you go first, sensei? We don't even know your name. I said to him. I know his name, of course. You'd think the son of the White Fang and student of the 4th Hokage would be more famous in Konoha. Not to mention his famed skills in Sharingan. I guess his reputation for being late and reading porn in public hurts that. Oh, me. My name is Hitaki Kakashi. I have no desire to tell you guys about my likes or dislikes. Dreams for the future. Well, I have lots of hobbies. I knew it. He didn't tell us anything other than his name. Shikamaru doesn't appear bothered by it, but Sasuke seems mildly upset. He actually did reveal some information about himself if you look underneath the underneath, so to speak. By saying he has no desire to tell us about his likes or dislikes says he's a very private person. He doesn't appear to think about the future much. As for his hobbies, the less said about what he's into the better. Now it's your turn, from the right, spoke Kakashi-sensei again, gesturing to Shikamaru. Troublesome, began Shikamaru as he sat up. It figures that would be the first thing he says. I hope to marry a regular girl who isn't too ugly and not too pretty. Have 2 children, first a girl, then a boy. Retire after my daughter is married and my son becomes a successful ninja, and spend the rest of my life playing shogi or go. Then die of old age before my wife. He finished. That's Shikamaru for you. He's already got his whole life planned out. Do you want to know what always does end up happening to him? He gets together with Tamari. It's not that surprising. They did have a lot of tension and were frequently together whenever she was in Konoha. Although she could do a lot better than him, no offense to Shikamaru of course. Oh, it's my turn now. Okay, I need to act like my old self, but not too much since I'm trying to show some signs of maturity. I don't want Shikamaru or Kakashi-sensei getting suspicious of me yet either. My name is Yamanaka Ino. Thank God I didn't say Uzumaki, I was close though. I like flowers and cherry tomatoes. I dislike Haruno Sakura and sashimi. My hobby is shopping. My dream is to prove myself to a certain someone. I think that worked well. They seemed to accept that. I feel bad about what I said about Sakura, but they'd find it odd if I suddenly stopped disliking her. They might already think something's wrong with me since I'm not squealing over Sasuke. I remember Naruto telling me all Sakura did was blush and giggle while stealing looks at Sasuke, and she said she hated Naruto. Later she ended up feeling bad about that and tried to make up for it, but it hurt him more than he let on. I think it was the memory of that moment that helped him get over her. It's Sasuke's turn now. Let's hear what he has to say. My name is Uchiha Sasuke. There are tons of things I dislike, but I don't really like anything. I don't want to use the word dream, but I have an ambition. The resurrection of my clan and to kill a certain man. Kakashi-sensei looks like he expected that from him. Shikamaru and I just look shocked at what he said, although I'm faking it since I already know all about it. You know, you'd think we would have seen that coming. Shouldn't everyone know Itachi massacred his clan and that Sasuke would want revenge against him? I guess the adults kept quiet about it to shelter the kids from the cold, hard reality of shinobi life. In a way it's why Naruto made such a great Hokage. Unlike the rest of the rookie 9 who came from clans or at least had families, he grew up alone and saw the corruption in Konoha firsthand. He knew how to deal with it better than us. It's not as bad as I make it sound, but it did give Naruto a unique perspective on the village. Okay, that's enough of that. We will start our duties tomorrow, called out Kakashi-sensei. What kind of duties? I asked. knowing Shikamaru was too lazy to do so and Sasuke isn't much of a talker. You know, there were times when Naruto would never shut up. I used to find it annoying, but as we grew closer I hung on to his every word. We never had problems making conversation. I hope Sasuke turns out to be a good listener. First we are going to do something with just the four of us, survival training," replied Kakashi. "I'm starting to get tired of playing stupid, and not only that I'm the only one doing any talking here. I'm not even sure Shikamaru is still awake. I guess that means I'll have to take charge. We did survival training in the academy. Is there anything special about the training we're going to do?" I asked Kakashi-sensei. "I'm your opponent, but this isn't normal training," he replied. "Then what is it?" I asked him. "You know, this is starting to get boring and repetitive. I mean, I know tomorrow he's going to give us the bell test to see if we can work together as a team and pass us. I wonder if he's even allowed to fail us. If he did there'd be backlash from those who think he's trying to hold back the last Uchiha, or from the Yamanaka and Nara clans for failing their heirs. I don't like thinking about politics, that's Naruto's job, as odd as it seems." At this point Kakashi-sensei just started laughing to himself. Either picking on Genin amuses him, or he just remembered a joke from one of his perverted books, maybe both. "Hey, what's so funny, sensei?" I asked him. "No, well it's just that when I tell you guys this you're going to get upset. Of the 27 graduates, only 9 will be chosen as Genin. The rest will be sent back to the academy. This is a super difficult exam with a failure rate of over 66%. I checked to see how my teammates reacted to the news. Sasuke is still in his brooding pose, but I'm sure he doesn't like the idea of going back to the academy. Shikamaru is, damn it, he really did fall asleep. Oh well, it's not like he's missing anything important. You know it's odd. Kakashi-sensei said only 3 teams will become Genin. Well actually he said only 9 of us will become Genin. It is odd how the only 3 teams that passed had 2 that were all clan heirs, and the other had the last Uchiha and the son of the 4th Hokage, power of human sacrifice. Since it didn't look like any of us were going to say anything, Kakashi continued his attempt to demoralize us. "The final test you took in the academy was just to see which of you had the potential to become Genin. Anyway, tomorrow you will be graded on the training field. Bring all your shinobi tools. Oh, and skip breakfast, you'll just throw it up. Like I'm really going to skip breakfast. Even when I was dieting I ate a full breakfast, mainly because my mom forced it on me. Besides, you try going all day without eating something, doing back-breaking chores and see how you do. The details can be read on this printout. Don't be late tomorrow," he said, handing us each a form with the location of the training field for the test and the time we're supposed to be there. Sasuke crumpled his up. Shikamaru, who just woke up, took a glance at it and put it away. I did the same. Really, I already know where it's going to be and I know Kakashi-sensei has no intention of being on time. As soon as he left I decided to share my thoughts with my teammates. "Don't be late," he says. He was the one who was 3 hours late. How do we know he'll be on time tomorrow? I said to them, hopefully it'll get them to be suspicious of Kakashi-sensei. He did say to skip breakfast. If we listened to him and showed up early only for him to be late we'd be hungry and tired, obviously in bad shape for a survival test. It could be he wants to test us in an extreme condition, both physically and mentally," deduced Shikamaru. Sasuke seemed to be paying attention to Shikamaru's explanation. It seems he's wary of sensei as well. I know he's not going to say anything so I'll speak up. "So what you're saying is we should eat breakfast to keep our strength up. Should we show up on time then? What if sensei is on time and we fail because we were late? In that case we should arrive on time anyway. We'll rest in shifts until he arrives with one person keeping a lookout for him. That way we'll be ready for whatever he has planned. It would be a good idea to bring some ration bars too for food. We have no idea what his test consists of and no clue how long it will last." Sasuke seemed satisfied with that plan. He nodded to us in agreement and left, presumably to prepare for tomorrow. I decided to ask Shikamaru something. Do you think we should try asking our dads about Sensei? They might know something about him that could help us. Shikamaru sighed before replying. If they do know anything, they probably won't tell us. They'd want us to figure it out for ourselves. I pouted a bit at that. It sounds like something they would do. In that case, then why don't we try to figure it out on our own? If we discover what his test is, it would give us a big advantage. You can do that. It's too much work for me. Let me know tomorrow what you find out. As for me, it's a nice, slightly overcast day and I know the perfect hill for watching clouds. See you tomorrow. With that, Shikamaru left as well. That worked perfectly. Not only did we come up with a plan to be ready for tomorrow's test, I can use my future knowledge to my advantage. Since Shikamaru isn't looking for information on Kakashi Sensei with me, I can just use what I learned before and make up some cover story about where I got it from. Then all we have to do is convince Sasuke to go along with it and we'll beat Sensei for sure. Those bells are as good as ours. We did it. It's the next day, just a little after noon, and Shikamaru and I are with Choji, watching clouds on some hill. We met up with him to learn how his test went. No one has seen Team 8 since yesterday. My guess is they're in the Forest of Death and won't be seen again for a month. I suppose you're wondering what happened. It's simple really. This morning we all met at the training ground at the designated time. Naturally Kakashi Sensei wasn't here, so I took that time to reveal what I knew about him and his bell test. Needless to say, they accepted my explanation of it. We worked out a plan to beat him. Sasuke would attack him head-on and direct him to a trap where Shikamaru would catch Kakashi Sensei with his shadow. I'd use my mind-body switch to take control of him and make him give us the bells. I'm sure he could stop us from pulling it off if he wanted to. Since we'd show good teamwork, that would be enough to get us to pass. Not surprisingly, Sasuke seemed to be looking forward to his task. The thought of challenging a high-level ninja to test his skills must be exciting for him. I even told them about Sensei's Sharingan eye. Sasuke seemed to be troubled by that, which is understandable. I think it made him want to fight Sensei even more. It was a good plan in theory, but not so great in practice. We set up some traps while waiting for Sasuke to direct Sensei into. They weren't meant to hurt him, just distract him long enough for Shikamaru to make his move. All Sasuke had to do was get Sensei into the area and we'd have him. Of course, it failed miserably. Sasuke tried his best against Sensei, but his taijutsu was countered with ease. Shikamaru and I could have supported him, but we needed to be ready to use our clan techniques on Sensei. I had to hold back my true strength as well, otherwise I'd be sending out a few shadow clones to help. Sasuke started getting upset with how Sensei was toying with him and not taking it seriously, even if he had to put away his smutty book. Besides, the ones written by Naruto were much better. I should know, I was his primary source of inspiration. We had lots of fun acting out parts of them too. Anyway, Sasuke got so mad he launched his great fireball technique at Sensei. That was a major mistake. See, to use the technique Sasuke has to use 7 hand seals, take a deep breath and breathe out a continuous fireball aimed straight forward while standing still. Do you see the problem here? For one thing, standing still while doing hand seals is a good sign you're about to use a ninjutsu, so an experienced Jonin like Sensei can use that time to prepare a counter. Sasuke had to waste more time breathing in to launch the attack. The worst part is since it's directed straight forward and he has to breathe out constantly, he's vulnerable to attack. I can see why he stopped using fire techniques after he learned to use lightning techniques. Had Sensei attacked Sasuke from behind or the side, Shikamaru or I would have stepped in to save him. Instead, Sensei waited until Sasuke finished his attack and struck from below of all places, pulling Sasuke underground so just his head stuck out. I should have seen that coming. I told Shikamaru to distract Sensei while I rescued Sasuke. Oddly, He didn't complain about needing to be saved. Either he was humbled by his fight against Sensei, or he really does understand we need to work together in order to pass. He still didn't thank me for it. Why do I like him again? Is it because of the man he could become? All he is right now is a very troubled boy, not a man who's put his family's spirits to rest and wants to start over. He'll find his peace once he avenges his clan, but until then he won't let anyone get close to him. I guess Naruto was the only one who could get through to him. I wonder how different he'll be without Naruto's influence. We tried our plan again. This time all three of us took him on. Shikamaru was exhausted first, his stamina was never great. Sensei left him tied to a tree. He then tried using a genjutsu on me, but I dispelled it right away. I think it was the demonic illusion, hell viewing technique. I never got to see my worst fear. It's for the best. At least I thought it was. Sensei used the time it took me to dispel the illusion to knock me unconscious. When I woke up I was sitting against a log, facing the memorial stone. Sasuke and Shikamaru were next to me. None of us were tied up either. Strange. He called us out on what we were planning on doing. We told him we knew the test was set up to split us apart and worked together anyway. All of us had to work together in order for it to work. Even if we didn't get the bells, we worked as a team to try to get them. Sensei tried his intimidating act, making it look like he was about to fail us for not getting the bells. We stood our ground, united as one, so he passed us. He told us about the memorial stone, and how all his friends' names are on it. He then said, "Those who break the rules are trash, but those who abandon their comrades are worse than trash." Then he told the lunches he brought with him. He explained since we all ate breakfast and none of us got the bells, he was going to keep them. With that we went our separate ways to celebrate becoming a team and real ninja. Shikamaru and I went to the Korean barbecue place to meet with Choji and his team. We agreed yesterday to meet here after our tests to see how we did. Kiba was there too, but Shino had to go home. I think he prefers to eat in private anyway. Choji and Kiba explained their test. It seems Kurenai is training them to be a hunter team, rather than just tracking. Their goal was to find a target in a heavily trapped area and capture it. Kurenai would use her genjutsu to make it harder to do so. The target was Kurenai herself, who would let one solid hit count as a kill and pass them. With Choji's strength to demolish the traps and Akamaru and Shino's bugs to scout, they found her easily enough. One of Shino's bugs stayed on each of them to bite them if they were put into a genjutsu to dispel it, and so Shino could track them. Akamaru helped do that too, but Kiba didn't seem too happy about that. Though Kurenai was much more skilled, she was going easy on them. They passed, and Choji, Kiba and Akamaru came here to meet us. Now if we could just find out what happened to Team 8. I asked at Ichiraku, but neither Tsuki nor Ayame had seen Naruto since that morning. They said he complained about his scary instructor and how she wanted them to pack for an extended survival mission. I guess I was right about the Forest of Death. So that's it. Once we finished our lunch get-together, Shikamaru, Choji and I left for Shikamaru's favorite hill to spend some time together before we start missions. Tomorrow we start D ranks again. Oh joy, in a month we might get to do a C rank mission if we're lucky. You know what this means. I'm going to have to prepare for the wave mission. That's if my team gets it. It had been nearly a month since Sasuke, Shikamaru and I officially became Team 7. In that time we had done a few D rank missions, worked on some teamwork exercises and did some sparring together. What? You thought the life of a ninja was glamorous? This is normal. Even when I was on Team 10 things went the same. The major difference now is I'm a lot more serious about being a ninja than I used to be. So far Kakashi hasn't been a bad teacher. I wasn't sure what to expect from someone who's chronically late. About that, Kakashi is always 3 hours late. I think it's just become a habit of his. After the first day we spent the whole time waiting, we just agreed to show up 3 hours after whatever time he tells us to appear at. Sasuke uses the extra time to train by himself. I used the water walking exercise during a D rank mission where we had to clean garbage out of a stream. Sasuke saw that and after learning how it was done set about to perfect it, along with the tree climbing exercise. That should make him a bit stronger than he was in the previous loop at this time. Shikamaru just uses the extra time to sleep in, or stare at clouds, or play shogi with his dad. I think he enjoys the extra freedom. I still have to keep an eye on him to make sure he's not getting weaker. As for me, I've been working at the hospital. It's a really comforting thought knowing that just by being here I'm helping save lives. Not only are there the patients I treat, just having an extra medic like me allows a more experienced doctor to work on someone who really needs their attention. We all meet at the bridge just before Kakashi would show up. I think he's aware of us doing so, but hasn't said anything about it. After a light warm-up we usually do a D rank mission. The missions themselves aren't bad, if you know how to approach them. I try to find creative ways to use my ninja skills to make them easier. They are also good for public relations, which a certain aspiring Hokage could make use of. What do I mean, you ask? How can glorified chores help someone become Hokage? It's simple really. A lot of the people of Konoha have a biased opinion of Naruto, not just because of the fox demon but also due to his own behavior. By working hard on these so-called chores and taking them seriously, Naruto could change the long-held opinions of his detractors, one person at a time. That way he'd also be getting to know the people he one day intends to lead. It's just too bad no one's seen him since team assignments. I should have told him about this. He might have behaved better on them. Then again, Anko most likely would have drilled that out of him by now. I hope he's alright. If something had happened to him I'm sure I would have heard something on my hospital rounds. I bet Anko has done wonders for her team. Naruto has amazing potential once you get past his weaknesses. Sakura just needs to get over her crush on Sasuke, and Hinata needs to grow a backbone. If anyone can help them, it's Anko. You know, I'm not even sure Anko is going to have them do any D rank missions. She's probably going to have them do some top secret training then take on a C rank mission. That might work out to my advantage. Okay, back to my team. After a mission or two we'd get some lunch, then do some workouts and sparring. I really need to get my body back in shape so this helps a lot. I get to spar with Sasuke as well, which greatly helps. I can't beat him, but he's a good opponent to practice with. I think I'm also impressing him with how well I'm doing. Kakashi helps point out flaws in my stances, which I'm going to have a lot of them until I readjust to my younger body. I can't wait to grow up again. Since I improved my diet I've noticed I've been a little taller than I was in my first life. I'm in much better shape, and I even need to buy bigger bras. Well, I will when I get older. Once training is over we all go our separate ways. I usually head home to rest and work on my clan techniques. Oh, I have them mastered of course, but I still need to make it look like I'm working on them to explain how I know them. Anyway, it's almost time for the wave mission. I've thought it over, and I've decided not to take my team on it. It's Naruto's team that needs to do the mission. It was that mission that solidified his beliefs, and started him on his path of becoming a hero in the elemental nations. With the strict training Anko is putting her team through they'll be able to handle it no problem. As for how I plan on them getting that mission, it's simple really. I've got shadow clones keeping an eye on everyone who enters Konoha. As soon as Tazuna arrives I'll have one, in a disguise as a pretty young woman, accidentally bump into him. He'll be so enamored by my clone's charm he'll hang on her every word. So when he tells her he needs to hire a team of ninjas to protect him she can recommend Team 8. He'll then request them and hopefully they'll get the mission. I know it seems a bit irresponsible of me to not do the mission myself. I know all about it and I could tip off the Hokage to the importance of the mission. I guess the reason for wanting Naruto to have the mission is so he can have the glory from it. It's a huge risk since things may not go well, and there's a chance that if the Hokage knew all the details and the potential rewards for saving Wave, he'd send a team guaranteed to succeed. I really can't explain why, but I have a gut feeling to go with this, and in my heart I know if it's to help Naruto it's worth the risk. It's been a few days now, and it looks like my plan is working. Earlier Tazuna finally showed up. As soon as he appeared, a shadow clone I had watching out for him dispersed. I then sent another shadow clone disguised as a pretty young woman with dark hair to find Tazuna. She performed flawlessly. Tazuna, after learning he could only afford a team of Chunin, or Genin with a Jonin commander, asked her who would be the best he can get. She recommended Team 8. They were rookies but highly trained by one of Konoha's top special Jonin. I finally found out what happened to them too. It turns out Anko wasn't allowed to take them into the Forest of Death, so she took them on a retreat to train them just outside of town. They returned a couple of days ago and spent a day in the hospital to recuperate. I checked on them and they have improved significantly. Sakura and Hinata both appear to have the basics for basic first aid and field medicine down, although they don't have any techniques mastered. Naruto seems to have greatly improved his taijutsu and chakra control, as well as his combat tactics with his shadow clones. It turns out Anko taught him the technique after all. He even knows about the memory transfer property, although Anko had him learn about that on his own. So, after my clone parted ways with Tazuna, it dispersed to let me know of its success. My team was catching Tora the cat again, so we were indisposed. We actually have the best record for catching her, but we're a CIA team. That's not surprising. What's that? You want to know what a CIA team is? It's short for capture, interrogation and assassination. Basically it means we capture a target, make them tell us whatever they know, and if needed, kill them. Shikamaru, myself and Sasuke fill each role respectively. I'm hoping that by being a part of a team like this, Sasuke will learn to accept help from others, especially if they can help him in his ambition. I have a feeling though that no matter what he'll still take on Itachi by himself. Well, we ended up catching Tora and returned her to the Fire Daimyo's wife. I wonder if we should tell her that Tora keeps running away because she's always smothering her. Nah, she'd probably take offense at that. The third Hokage asks us what kind of mission we'd like now. I recall that Naruto originally got Team 7 the Wave mission by throwing a fit about how they weren't getting any good missions, and Iruka said they weren't ready. Personally, I have no problem with waiting. Shikamaru doesn't seem to mind either, and Sasuke spends all his time training, but he might like a chance to prove himself. I guess we'll just have to wait until Kakashi recommends us for one. We took another ordinary D rank and left for it. I secretly sent out a shadow clone to observe Team 8 as they left. Considering what I saw, I'm not sure if that was a good idea. It was my first time seeing them since they got out of the hospital. Like the original Team 8, they all wore something to set them apart. Unlike the coats the old team wore, the new one followed the fashion style of their sensei. Yes, you heard me. Anko has corrupted 3 youths. Sakura and Hinata are both wearing short skirts, fishnet, see-through tops with flesh-colored undershirts, leg guards and tan trench coats. I can see they both have first aid kits as well. Sakura also has her hair in a ponytail just like Anko. I guess I shouldn't complain about their clothes. I dressed something like that before, but I toned it down once I started dating Naruto. Still, I wonder why they're dressed like that. It's nice to see Hinata is proud of her body now, and she definitely has much to be proud of. That doesn't explain Sakura's change of wardrobe. I wonder how Naruto is reacting to that. He looks the same, except for a tan trench coat as well. I wonder if Anko taught them her many hidden shadow snakes technique. You know, since she can summon snakes, she might have even had Naruto sign their summoning contract. He definitely has the reserves to call out the stronger summons. It doesn't look like he's checking them out. Weird, he seems to be the only one not stealing looks at Hinata. Even the women are staring. Actually, they seem to be cursing under their breath at her. Well, At least it shows Naruto's not a pervert. He's just talking with his teammates while they wait for Anko and Tazuna. I guess since he's been around them for the past month he's gotten used to them looking like that. It does make sense. Since he's the only guy on the team they'd have to get him used to being around girls in any state of undress. If they were both injured and needed treatment he'd have to be comfortable enough to help them without being too embarrassed. I bet there's a lot of guys who would be jealous of him. Now I'm starting to wish I could see the mission in action. I really want to know how it goes down firsthand. Oh well, I guess I'll find out later. I should get back to focusing on my own mission, even if it's just a D rank. I'm guessing we'll get a C rank pretty soon. Once Sasuke finds out Team 8 had a C rank mission he'll start asking for one. Since our teamwork is much better than the original Team 7 and we're stronger too, I think we might even get one. I wonder what it'll be like. It's been a month since Team 8 left for the Wave mission. During that time my team went on a border patrol mission along the Fire Country and Hot Spring Country border. My guess is they wanted us nearby Wave in case something went wrong on that mission. Or it could just be paranoia on my part. The day after Team 8 left everyone in Konoha knew about it. I shouldn't have been surprised. I more than anyone know how fast gossip gets around. Don't the people here have anything better to do? So anyway, Sasuke heard how Team 8 got a C rank mission and requested, in his own way, that our team get one as well. Iruka couldn't object since Team 8 got one. The third Hokage gave us our mission and Kakashi gave us an hour to prepare. He even promised to be on time for once. I went home and got ready for the mission. I had a backpack filled with equipment ready to go at all times, as well as some storage scrolls. I like to be prepared in case something happens to one or the other. It hasn't happened to me, but wouldn't it just to have a ton of expensive gear sealed into a scroll only for it to be burned up or fall into some water and get soaked? I can't imagine how Tenten would feel if that happened to her. The mission itself was uneventful. Aside from a few bandits we didn't fight anyone. Sasuke wasn't happy about that. He didn't say anything, but it's obvious he was hoping for a strong opponent to fight to test his skills and hopefully activate his Sharingan. The mission only lasted 2 weeks. During that time we just patrolled the border, keeping an eye out for trouble. We couldn't do any training since we needed to be at full strength in case a fight happened. All we did was some stretches and warm-ups to keep from straining ourselves. After returning to Konoha we went back to the old routine. We should be getting another C rank soon. I'm sure of it, since Team 8 got back from Wave earlier today and once Sasuke hears about their mission he's going to want another to challenge himself. Their return was something to be remembered. Apparently word got around fast of the events of the mission and everyone wanted to see them return to find out what happened. I had a shadow clone watching for them, as usual. When I saw them enter the gates, looking proud, I knew things went well. That wasn't the shocking part though, it was who was with them. There were 2 more people accompanying them. One was tall, with dark hair, bandages wrapped around his face. He wore a black muscle shirt, pin-striped pants and what appeared to be cow-patterned arm warmers of all things. Ow, some men have no fashion sense at all. That aside, he also carried a giant sword. The other was a bit taller than Naruto, with long dark hair kept in a bun, pale skin and feminine looks. He wore a simple kimono, turtleneck shirt and shorts. I had never seen them in person, but I recognized them right away. It was Momochi Zabuza and his apprentice Haku. What they were doing here was anyone's guess, since they're supposed to be missing Nin. Well, Zabuza is anyway. I'm not sure if Haku was a mist ninja or not. He does wear a mist forehead protector. They made their way to the Hokage Tower where they spent the rest of the day in meetings with the Hokage and his advisors. I'm sure whatever happened required one hell of a mission report. It wasn't until late in the evening that they got out. I found Naruto at Ichiraku Ramen and followed him in while in a disguise. I was going to see if I could find out what happened on their mission. Sakura would never tell me what happened after the graduation exam incident, and Hinata went straight home. I wonder how the Hyuga clan is taking her new look. Anyway, I ordered some vegetable ramen and ate it slowly so I could hear Naruto tell Tsuki and Ayame all about his mission. What? You didn't think I liked ramen? After spending a lifetime with Naruto, I developed a taste for it. I don't have it that often though. Interested in what happened? I guess the details of the mission aren't classified, or Naruto isn't aware they are, as he told Tsuki and Ayame everything that happened. Now I can tell you. The mission started off fine. Along the way to Wave they encountered the demon brothers, Gozu and Maizu. They were hiding in a puddle, preparing an ambush. Luckily, after training with Anko Naruto, Hinata and Sakura had a ridiculously heightened danger sense. Gozu and Maizu didn't even qualify as a threat. As soon as the duo leapt from their puddle of doom, Naruto's shadow clones immobilized them. Hinata shut off their chakra points and Sakura used a paralytic poison on them. Anko interrogated the two and got every detail of the severity of the mission from them. She then swiftly decapitated the two of them and sealed away their heads to collect their bounty later and their bodies for study as well. They didn't even bring up the idea of discontinuing the mission at that point. Naruto would have said Wave needed them, Hinata would go along with him and Anko would be looking forward to a good fight. Sakura, being outvoted, would have to go along. Shortly after arriving in Wave they were attacked by Zabuza. Anko was smart enough to stay away from the water and managed to poison Zabuza, forcing Haku to reveal himself to rescue his master. After that they continued on to Tezuna's home. Since Anko estimated Zabuza should recover in a week, they alternated between spending their time guarding Tezuna or investigating the situation in Wave. Anko was suspicious of Gado's motives after learning what kind of man he was. She had her team gathering information on him. They learned he had been gathering mercenaries together and was most likely planning on betraying Zabuza once the swordsman killed Tezuna. Anko figured that Gado would have to be dealt with somehow, as his stranglehold on Wave and the shipping industry in the area would be dealt a major blow by the completion of the bridge. Even if they beat Zabuza now and Tezuna finished the bridge, as long as Gado lived he wouldn't rest if something threatened his monopoly. They ended up getting a lucky break as Naruto met Haku while out early one morning. Thanks to Anko's training he was able to identify him as Zabuza's rescuer, and tell he was a boy. That would have been embarrassing otherwise. Naruto was able to tip Haku off to Gado's subterfuge, and Haku told Zabuza about it. That led to Zabuza and Anko working out a deal. The next day when the whole team and Tezuna went to the bridge, all the workers were gone, and it was covered in mist. Zabuza, aware that Gado had never planned on paying him, worked out an arrangement with Anko and Tezuna. They also discovered during their negotiations that Gado sent two of his bodyguards to take one of Tezuna's family members hostage and kill the other. Naruto had left some shadow clones behind to watch them. They dispelled to let the original know what happened. Everyone thought that was despicable. Even Zabuza said it was a completely dishonorable tactic. With Gado now confirmed as their common enemy, they came up with their plan. They'd fake their battle, and when Gado brought in his mercenaries, Zabuza would kill Gado himself. That would save the Leaf Ninja from any possible repercussions on their part. The mercenaries would be easily taken out afterwards. Zabuza would collect his payment from Gado's coffers and split the money with the people of Wave and the Leaf Ninja. The plan went off smoothly. Team 8 spent the rest of the mission helping with the recovery of Wave. Zabuza and Haku cleaned out Gado and worked on laundering his assets. As for them, I bet you're wondering why they're here now. I'll tell you, since you asked nicely. It turns out they are part of the current resistance movement in Mist. They've been taking missions and sending the profits to the rebels to fund the rebellion. With the money they acquired from Gado, the rebellion forces will be able to launch a death blow against Yagura soon. Zabuza is here now under cover of seeking asylum to help Konoha get in contact with the rebel leader. They're going to be offering support, off the record of course. Once it's over and Mist is secured with a new leader, they'll begin trade negotiations and peace talks. An alliance isn't out of the question either. If problems occur with the Hidden Cloud Village, Leaf and Mist will be able to stand united against them. That was the story of the Wave mission. Naruto's version was a bit different. I think he was trying to impress Ayame by exaggerating his role. You know, I think there's something going on here. He hasn't shown any interest in Sakura anymore from what I've seen. What is clear is he's now a lot more friendly with Ayame. Before he seemed to think of her as a big sister. Now he's acting a bit like he used to around Sakura. I think he might have gotten over Sakura and developed a crush on Ayame. Maybe being around Anko has given him a thing for older women. Or maybe he always had one. Sakura was 6.5 months older than him. I hope things work out for him. Ayame did always treat him well. She can take care of herself in case of trouble, and look after Naruto as well. Still, I don't see anything happening between them for a few years. I shouldn't be surprised he doesn't seem interested in Sakura or Hinata. Their new change in attitude must have scared him off. I'm just glad being around them and Anko hasn't turned him off women. It's not that I find the thought of him being with another guy to be a turn on. I certainly am not having fantasies of Naruto having a threesome with Sai and Haku, not at all. It's odd, but I'm okay with him being with another woman. I had prepared myself for this, and honestly, I was expecting him to get together with either Hinata or Sakura after what happened last loop. No, I don't want to talk about that. It'll be a story for another time. So that was the story of our first C rank missions. No, I have no idea if Team 10 had a C rank mission and I don't care. Actually, I haven't seen them lately, so they might be on one right now. There doesn't appear to be anything exciting happening anytime soon. I guess the next big event will be the Chunin exams. I wonder if we'll be entered in it. Considering what's going to happen, I'd rather